So I'm Maria Helena Carey, and I write a blog called The Hill is Home, and I would like you to introduce yourself, please.
Awesome. So my name is Amir Lowery. I am a DC native. I'm the executive director of Open Goal Project, a 501c3 here in DC. I'm the player relations manager for MLS Players Association, a labor union, and I'm running for Congress, running for delegate to the House of Representatives in the November 2020 election.
Awesome. So Amir, tell me a little bit about growing up in DC. Which ward was home to you? Which ward is your home? And tell me about the Open Goal Project.
Yeah, so Ward 4 is really what I called my home most of my childhood and youth. I went to Oyster, Deal, and Wilson. Oyster Elementary is a bilingual school, and all those DC public schools are near and dear to my heart. But Oyster especially because it made me bilingual. And I've been able to maintain that Spanish throughout my life. After Wilson, I went to Wake Forest University. I played in soccer for about 8 years. And then when I moved back home, I started coaching and figuring out the next steps in my life. Along that, I really became interested in public service. And I started to realize a real, systemic inequity in youth soccer, and the play structure that I was involved with as a coach, from some of the clubs in the area, really kept a lot of kids on the sideline. And my passion was to address that directly and make sure kids from the inner city had access, kids with from immigrant families could have access, more Black faces could have access, all of those things. So I kind of just jumped out there and started a community organization to address that need. Now we serve hundreds of kids a year, close to 1,000 sometimes. We run here and in North Carolina. And in California. I don't know. I said North Carolina. I'm in discussions.
Wake Forest.
Also talking to a friend about a potential collaboration there. So the need for what we do, and basically we remove the barriers, mainly cost barriers that keep kids on the sideline.
So I'm sorry, I have to ask you, why soccer? Why not other sports? Like, what draws you to soccer?
Well, so I grew up, I played my whole life. I played in the DC area growing up, and I think my background and my experience was super diverse. I had a unique experience with people from a lot of different cultures and backgrounds. And I had parents where I come from a middle class background, they could afford to drive me around, and we'd go to tournaments outside the city, that could require a stay or something like that. But the reality of it is that's not accessible for everybody. So my experience was shaped and formed in a different way. And, at Wake Forest, it was a big part of my collegiate experience. Obviously, I was super passionate about it. I wanted to pursue it as my job.
And you were a pro, right? You were a pro for many years. And what teams did you play in?
So I played for the Colorado Rapids, the Kansas City Spirits, San Jose Earthquakes, Impact, and a team in Raleigh in North Carolina FC.
All right. Well, so what made you take the leap from, being so soccer oriented and passionate about it? So why are you running for delegate to the District of Columbia?
Yeah. So I try to make connections between professional sports and the government sphere or politics, if you will. And I'll lead off with that. I think that not a lot of athletes are inclined to run for office, but I do think there are a lot of synergies and a lot of things that make people coming out of professional sports adaptable to the political arena. So for example, playing a sport, you deal with people from all different backgrounds, all cultures, right? You're dealing with not only teammates, but fans from any range of demographics, right?
Absolutely.
Also management, you have to be able to have a rapport and an understanding there of the business side. And, the fact that you're representing a city or an organization or an entity also, I think all those,
like an ambassador.
Yeah, I think all those things translate, and I think I have a unique perspective being a DC native. I'm hoping to convince more athletes along the way that this is something that is for us and that we can translate well into that political arena, like I said, that our skills translate well. And so that's a big part of it. For me, though, my passion when I left playing pro soccer quickly developed, as I mentioned, into public service, back to the community and building my community in different ways. So, the need that I saw and the impact that I felt that I could have through soccer in my community, and soccer is the guiding principle or the vehicle that drives youth development and drives larger community development and community growth. So for example, we were just able to get a young lady who we've worked with for 7-8 years. My business partner met her before we started our organization formally. She just got a college scholarship, and her parents are Salvadorian immigrants.
Wow.
She'll be the first person in her family to go to a 4-year college or university, and soccer was that guiding principle and the vehicle that got her to that. So being able to come back and do that and start to make that impact is super important to me. And she's an example of hundreds of kids in our communities that just need an opportunity. And Columbia Heights is probably mainly Ward 1 where we operate, some Ward 4. The need for this extends to Wards 5, 6, 7, 8. And I'm hoping that we will be, citywide with a really broad footprint and engaging a lot of kids and using soccer as a driving force. That's a broad picture of it, but I see that a way to give back and, to build community, like I said, and drive youth development.
How lovely. Well, so let's go back really briefly to running for delegate. And I love the kind of the weaving thread of soccer as kind of a motivator and a community builder. So talking about community, I mean, we just got through the historic HR 51 vote where it passed in the House of Representatives. So we're in a way that much closer to being a state, but not quite there. So do you feel intimidated by Eleanor Holmes Norton's record, by her 15 terms in office? And so tell me about that. What are some of your thoughts about HR 51 and Eleanor Holmes Norton?
Yeah, so first of all, full credit to her. My voting record shows how I feel about her because I voted for her nearly all my voting life. I am definitely not intimidated by her. I think I think that she has been an amazing public servant for 3 decades.
Absolutely.
And I'm seeing a need for fresh ideas, new perspectives, more energetic leadership. I think I'm myself as somebody who's going to be on the ground and in the community and going the extra mile to bring people together and provide a different element of leadership there. So that enthusiasm is, I think, something that we need, and that energy is something that we need going forward, not just on the statehood front, which I think done an amazing job, but I think more wholeheartedly, a more wholesome approach, looking at everybody and on the ground is important.
So I want to know a little bit more. What do you mean by on the ground? So and you know, just to kind of piggyback on that, what do you think makes you the right challenger to Eleanor Holmes Norton? How does on the ground look like for you?
So I think DC needs leadership.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think that in any, and I can't speak on her day-to-day activities, and I'm not criticizing, but you know, I think we need somebody who is going to engage with community organizations, with community leaders, with city council, if you will. I don't know that, you know, I don't know that us, you know, given the fact that we don't have that vote on the House floor, I don't know that her scope and that role, the delegates' role of responsibilities there in the chamber or you know, there on the Hill, I don't think it should just be limited to that. I think that as I see DC, we need just collective action and hopefully somebody who can bring people together in a different way.
Okay. Any parting words? Any kind of inspiration for people?
Yeah. So I would say, I mean, I would say you know, on HR 51, I would say, again, I think we've made amazing progress, and progress keyword. But I've mentioned soccer a lot, and I think the soccer analogy is appropriate to that. I think people should approach it as we scored a goal, you know, but we're still playing, and we have a lot of work to do. And I'm presenting myself as a candidate who's going to do that work, go the extra mile, and do everything possible to get DC equal rights, to get DC equal representation, equal access, and equal opportunity. And I'm really leveraging my community work and all the public service that I've done to say that I'm the best person for the job.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for taking the time to talk to me. And where can people find you online and on social media?
So my social media handles are at Prince Lowery, PrinceLowery. My name Amir means Prince, so that's the correlation there.
Nice.
Most will be on my Instagram and Twitter, and then my website will be live once I'm actually confirmed on the ballot. Once I have the signatures, which I'm very close to.
So you know, just drop it down there and link up to it when it's live. All right.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.